George, good afternoon, George. Just a little surprise. I just thought I would say happy Thanksgiving. Good afternoon, Lauren. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a blessed day. Um, Hello, Carlos. Excuse me. I have a question. Morning there. It's what is it? It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here. Did you hear music? Or let me push the button right now. Can you hear that? I'm kind of curious. I had a lot of trouble setting this up, and I think I finally got it, but I don't know if I. Ah, good. Awesome. Awesome. It's very cool. Um, I won't go through the details, but it's music that I can play that's not half bad, but it's not in an actual music file. Music loud and clear. Awesome. Yuka, how you doing? Edward, hello. All the regulars. Now, some of you are, I'm probably interrupting your Thanksgiving dinner, and don't let me do that. It's just that, I don't know, I just had an urge to come on for Thanksgiving and maybe talk a little bit about that or anything else. Good morning from 360. Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving. Emil from Hollywood. What? Hollywood, Maryland. What are you doing in Maryland? I heard your place burnt down. No, just kidding. Ha ha ha, just kidding. Um, where was I? Oh, our friend Alejandra. Now, I hadn't seen her actually, I hadn't seen her since that Chinese restaurant thing where she met up. Jennifer has family there. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, Thanksgiving. So you got to get with family, right? Um, so I hadn't seen her since the Chinese restaurant deal, and I've been so busy for the last few weeks, I really hadn't even talked to her. She figured I got some girlfriend, so I was ignoring her. Anyway, I knew that she crashed on a skateboard, and she had sent me a couple pictures, really nasty. Yeah, I mean, nasty. So anyway, yesterday I met her at the bank. I got a little problem with some money I was trying to do something with, and it's lost, and trying to track it down, and it's a freaking nightmare. And and they tell me it'll probably be 7 or 8 days. I don't know. I need that money, damn it. So anyway, she met me there because this is something that was going to be kind of complicated, and I figured she's a real tiger when it comes to things, so I'll have her represent me. And and so I met up there. Well, she was hobbling. I mean, like if I took 3 steps, I'd have to wait a minute for her to catch up. It was pretty bad. So anyway, we did the bank thing, and yeah, I got. I can't really say I lost my temper because I was kind of laughing, but the guy I dealt with before trying to sort this out, he just kind of flat out lied to me, and then he said a bunch of things. I got kind of aggravated and say, "Oh, who's your boss?" And he didn't want to tell me, but everybody's staring. Finally, I told him to write it down, so he wrote down the his boss and her phone number. Well, she's on the second floor, so then I proceed with Alejandra. We go up to the second floor. Of course, I gotta stand there and wait 10 minutes for her to get up the steps. I did offer to carry her, but she said no. So you talk to a guy, got to fill out this other form, and da 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 da. So we go through all that. But here's the thing: I'm getting ready to leave, and I said, "You want me to take you to lunch or something?" It's no, I gotta go to the medical thing, therapist. Really? Okay. So I start walking, and she's hobbling behind me. And I said, "Well, you don't have to follow me." She goes, "No, we're going the same way." Oh, okay. So, I slowed down. Actually, I kind of got down on my hands and knees and crawled so I could, slow down enough for her. Kidding. I'm new. I'm new. Happy. Yes, thank you. I appreciate the. It came up as anonymous, like so. But yesterday I was going over some records and I saw who the anonymous was, and I probably just let the cat out of the bag. But thank you very much. Um, anyway, Mike, how you doing, Mike? Is it raining up north? No, but it's really, really unusually ominous overcast. I mean, it's like really dark, cloudy sky. I mean, it's like one cloud and it's dark. It's kind of a medium to dark gray, and it looks really ominous. And it's kind of cool. I think it's 66 degrees or something. Um, Alejandra is or was your girlfriend? No, never was. We're just friends. I've explained that before. The girls that I bring on the channel are just they're just friends. They're people that I meet and know, and not girlfriends. But Alejandra helps out with a lot of people that come here, like Mike, for example. And there's others. There's Andrea. There's Natalie. There's Angela. So when guys are here and they're trying to figure out how to get furniture and things like that, who are you going to call? So, they help them out with things like that. So anyway, excuse me. Sore throat. It's dry. Um, so we're hobbling over there, and I was actually headed that way because that's where the best fruit stands are. And I wanted to get some strawberries and maybe some blueberries, which I did get. Can you get a good turkey to bake there? Yeah, I didn't. I'm just kind of I'm in that it's just another day mode. My big event is I'll watch my Heartbreak Bills later tonight on Cody, but no, I'm not doing any Thanksgiving thing except this is the most Thanksgiving I'm doing. Like there's my Thanksgiving. so so anyway, I'm getting the fruit and we're chatting and this and that and we're talking about uh, not only she's got this ridiculous hole in her knee that's punched a hole through her, what is it, the patella, the kneecap? That little plate thing? Well, it actually punched right through there and went in deep. And we were talking about, how they treated it and this and that and what hurt most. But she wasn't hobbling because of that. She was hobbling because she's got a sprained ankle. And it's like she doesn't know how to slow down. And so she's been out walking around in a sprained ankle and it just doesn't want to heal. And I'm telling her that, yeah, okay, I understand you gotta walk, you gotta do things, but you gotta minimize it because I know her. And I asked her, I said, well, what are you going to the therapy for? Because there's really nothing with what you've got going on. There's nothing they can do. And well, he talked to me and he said that I could go for I don't know like 10 visits for 400,000 pesos or something. Okay, that's all well and good, but there's nothing he can do for you. You got a sprained ankle. You got to stay off it as much as possible. You want to soak it in Epsom salts. Give yourself like not a heavy but a light massage. She goes, yeah, I was looking on YouTube and I gave myself a massage, but it hurt even worse. So it's like, well, show me. And it's already traumatized. You don't want to cause more damage. So I invited her over to the house. I said, look, I'll get some Epsom salt. She says, well, you can't get it here in Armenia, but you can order it on Mercado Libre. So I took a look on Rappi, and sure enough, the pharmacy, one of the pharmacies had it in a pound bag. It was like 70 cents for a pound bag of Epsom salts. So I ordered it up, and I ordered up some lunch. So we had some oven chicken, and I gave her the Epsom salts, and I showed her how to massage her ankle. And then I wrapped it up in ace bandage, and a little later she went on her way. But I didn't realize she was really hobbled up, and she's been out doing things as though she was never hurt. I'm in favor. Place USA since Sunday. Ready to go. Oh, you're in the USA. I'm really missing my apartment. Well, I can go over and have some parties. Rent it out. Uh, I didn't realize you weren't even here. We got to get together one of these days. Um, anyway, so that's the story on Alejandra. Um, anything going on with you guys? You know, I don't want to make this long and drawn out, but if you have any questions, like usual, we can do that. I really don't have a lot to talk about. When I did my Happy Christmas greeting, um, I put up a burger and fries and a beer. Mike, I told her to soak it in Epsom salts 2 days ago. Glad she finally got some. I think that's how she knew about it. It was funny. She was sitting on the couch, and I kind of tossed it over to her, and so she's holding this bag, and she says, "Well, no, I take that back. We're at the table getting ready to have lunch." That's what it was. And so she's saying, "So do I eat this? Do I put it on food?" I said, "No, no, 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 no." She thought it was something you do internally. I said, no, you do it to the outside of the foot. So she's thinking she sprinkles salt on the outside, maybe makes a paste. No, you take some hot water and you put the Epsom salt in there, not all of it, a few spoons, and put your foot in and soak it. And do that a few times a day. But the thing is, in Ecuador, I couldn't buy Epsom salts. Nobody knew anything about it. And here, it's not a traditional thing. And here, some people have heard of soaking in bicarbonate of soda, but not Epsom salts. Therefore, it's not much of a thing to keep in inventory if nobody is going to buy it. If nobody knows about it. I was actually pretty surprised that it was in the pharmacy. So it's in their inventory. It was in the pharmacy, and they had it and brought it to me. But Mercado Libre is it's what Amazon was when Amazon began. It's not like now. And you have access to pretty much anything from anywhere. And it's pretty cool. This Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for bread, though I've never tried it myself. I hear it's quite good. Now, would that be bread, the music artist? I'm confused. You've never had bread. Who's never had bread? You got to explain. Or maybe you're talking about the band from the 70s. Was it 70s? So what'd you think of that little tune at the beginning? I'm kind of curious. Got a nice beat. It's a Norm Macdonald joke. Sorry. One I don't know. I'll have to look that one up. And so you're giving me something to do. I've got 3 videos to edit, and we're already into Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday, Thanksgiving. And I've barely got 25% of the first one done. It's like, oh my God, I hate edit. Have I ever told you before how much I hate editing videos? I mean, with a passion. Oh my God. George, thank you. I don't know if that went up on the screen. I'm just seeing it. I appreciate you and the time you put into your videos. Just bought a small house near Pereira. No kidding. Need to furnish. Any recommendation for furniture for a furniture store? Not the usual stuff. Oh, whoops. Need the usual stuff. Bed, table, couch. I even though you're not right here, you might want to consider hiring one of the girls. You can email me if you're really interested, and I'll talk to you about directly. Because here's the thing: not only they can help you, find what you're looking for, but they can make all the arrangements. But more than that, especially somebody like Alejandra, they are wicked negotiators, and so it's kind of a good way to take a lot of the headache out of it and actually save money. Now she's going to charge you, but it won't be very much at all, and you're going to save money. Plus, okay, so obviously like a mattress and maybe a bed, you want to get that new, but there's a lot of things you can get good used and save a ton of money that way. Now some people don't care about saving money, but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to save some money when you can. Were you eating your turkey today? No, no turkey for me. There is turkey here. I mean, it's not really that hard to locate. Well, I might have done it, but to be honest with you, I kind of forgot about Thanksgiving. I've been busy. I've been doing things, and here they don't really do Thanksgiving, so it's not like you see this stuff all over the place to remind you. I mean, my last U.S. style Thanksgiving was when I was living in Cuenca, and those two girls and their kids were living in my house, and I made a traditional Thanksgiving. I mean, it was quite a blowout. It was a big old turkey, cooked to perfection, with a crispy skin and mashed potatoes and gravy and pumpkin pie, apple pie and pumpkin pie, and all I kind of did it up, and I did a video on it, and I threw up a Facebook. Facebook reminds you about something you had like years ago, and a clip of that came up, and so I shared it just a couple days ago, and that should have reminded me that it was Thanksgiving. I think it was only 2 days ago, but I don't know. It's just not a priority. It's not a sad thing. I could make a Thanksgiving, invite people. I got friends and stuff. It just, I don't know, didn't feel like it. Highly recommend getting Alejandra or Andrea to help you with your furniture shopping. I didn't mention her because he's a ways away, and she's got some complications, so the time to go there and come back would actually be a little problematic for her. So, but Alejandra, she could do it and make life real easy. Mike can tell you. I mean, our whole purpose here, me with the first 3 days, Mike was here. I show him everything that he needs to know of consequence that has to do with somebody coming from outside the country. And then I turn him over. He worked with Andrea, he worked with Alejandra. And the whole purpose of all of this is to make, the visa and the cedula and finding an apartment and settling in, getting it furnished and getting your cell phone and your internet and all the things that you need. It makes it kind of stress-free. I mean, it's almost seamless. Now, Mike, I think the only stress you had is some pipe blew out and you had water everywhere. It's funny, I did too. I fixed it myself. But, yeah, things happen. So what else? Got anything else to talk about? Yeah, George, please email me. If you don't know my email, use that email I put up on the screen, and just tell me what it is that you're looking for, and I'll see if I can get you hooked up. Yeah, I'm looking at my little control panel here. Don't want to push the wrong button and disconnect. Do the expats in the area get together for Thanksgiving dinner? No, they're relatively new here, and I I actually, several of them asked about, could I get them all together, meet each other, know each other, and like that. Like these two know each other, and this one know each other, but they don't know each other together. And so I tried, but everybody was busy, and then they were busy, and then they were busy, and I wasn't getting replies. So I said, to hell with it. If you guys want to do it, do it. Now, I did recommend that we've got the Facebook page, Adventure in Grand Colombia, and you're welcome to use that. You can post events, and you can eventually, I mean, you can even make your own Facebook page, but this one, there's a lot of people already there. Plus, there's people that I didn't have anything to do with that live here. There's just not very many. There's just a handful. There's one of the nice things about one of the many wonderful things that I am so thankful for. Which reminds me, that's what, Thanksgiving is not what a lot of people say. It's like the history is getting kind of skewed. Thanksgiving was actually thanks to God. And I posted up some years ago, and that came up too, to share the Abe Lincoln proclamation that started Thanksgiving. It's a very interesting read, but it's somehow, this weird story that's so untrue about the Pilgrims came and they were starving and dying the first winter. That was true. Half of them died off that first winter. But the Indians did not come in and rescue them at that moment. Now, after that winter, they made connection with the Indians, and they made friends with them, and they shared certain things. The Indians were teaching them how to live off the land. But the real event with the Indians came later, when the method that they had all agreed on to live under, which was basically a commune, it failed. They couldn't get people to get to work. And so what they did was they changed it to, instead of everything belonging to the community, it's like you get to keep what you work for, and then you can use that to trade or contribute or whatever. Well, when they did that, all of a sudden productivity went sky high, and they began an active trade with the Indians, and then with the people from Europe that they owed money to for bringing them over there. They would collect these goods that were involved in the trade, and they would pay off their debt, because everybody had an individual debt. And they became quite prosperous. Now, the Indians were part of that, and the Indians taught them, after that first deadly winter, taught them basically good ways to grow crops. For example, the Indians were putting fish down on the ground. It's something they weren't aware of, as food for the plants. So, I mean, that's really where Thanksgiving came about. And after a couple years, they kind of looked at the progress that they had made, that they'd come through, half the people died, everything was terrible. But then everybody started working real hard, and they made good friends with the Indians, and there was a good trading system going on. And so they decided to have a feast, because now they have plenty, and they invited their friends, the Indians, to come, and it was a thanks to God. You have to remember that these were religious pilgrims. These were people fleeing Europe because they were being suppressed in their religion. So they're very religious people, and of course that's who they gave thanks to. Now, somewhere along the line, that history got rewritten, and it's like there was a genocide of the Indians. Yeah, that happened at some point far in the future from that event, and not by them. It wasn't those people, but the whole story has gotten kind of mixed up, and they were thankful to the Indians, and that's why there was a Thanksgiving. Well, they were thankful for the Indians for what they did after that first winter, but after that, everything was on equal ground. So anyway, I'm man, I do get to rambling. How is Ibagué compared to Armenia? Well, Ibagué is kind of a neat place. I like it. It's larger. Of course, pretty much everything is larger. 500,000 people, I think. Well, somebody sent me an email, and he wanted to correct me that according to Wikipedia, Manizales and Pereira only have 400,000 people each as a population, and Armenia is 301. Well, actually, Armenia is less than that, but that's the only one that was close. Armenia, if you take into account some of the people outside of the city limit who live directly around Armenia, it is about 301, maybe a little bit more. But the 400,000 for Pereira and for Manizales is so out, it's like a couple 100,000 out of whack each. But it's Wikipedia. I mean, you have to, you got to do better than that. But Ibagué, I liked it. There's a lot to be said for it. Been there a few times. I just don't like the weather. I don't like how hot it gets there. Now, I was only there a couple times. And there's somebody who watches this who's in Ibagué I think he actually lives in Ibagué now. But I've got a couple friends, but I have one in particular I talk to pretty frequently. And when I went there, she met up with me to show me around the first time. And it was hot as hell. And I asked her about that. And she said, well, this is about typical. Maybe it's a little cooler than usual. Are you kidding me? It was, here's the thing about my biggest issue with hot. I like to walk. And when you walk, and it's relatively cool, if there's a breeze, it feels refreshing, and you can walk for hours. When it's hot, and when the air is hanging, which is what I don't like about the south part of Armenia, sorry, Mike, but it just kind of gets hot, and it doesn't have that same breeze, it just kind of sucks the energy out of me. And that's not fun for me. So hot is like, okay, I'm going to go to an air-conditioned house. I'm going to go to an air-conditioned store. I want to go to an air-conditioned car. And then hot's not bad. But if you're out walking around and things like that, it just doesn't work for me very well. Rob, howdy. I'd say you're late, but you're actually a few days early. This is a little surprise thing. You can go back and watch it. When I was talking about you and okay, so Ibagué, they got a Dunkin' Donuts there. No, they got a few nice malls. There's a lot there. It's there's a modern part. There is kind of I'd say it's a little heavier on poverty than a lot of places. I'm not saying like half of the people are starving. I'm not saying that, but if you have a certain percentage in Manizales or Armenia or whatever, you maybe have twice that in Ibagué. And again, I asked my friend. That was the impression I got, and I asked her, and she said, yeah, and she was describing to me, some of the situation there. So there's that, which means that in some areas you're going to have, some crime. Of course, it's a city. I don't know if they have, crime like cities in the U.S. to that level, but, so I liked it. It was interesting, but I'm very particular, and I'm always comparing when I'm in Colombia to Armenia. And to me, it doesn't hold a candle to Armenia. The only place that comes close is maybe Manizales. And I talk about that all the time. Anthony, happy Thanksgiving. Back at you. Same to you. So that's my take on Ibagué. I think it's one of those places that's certainly worth visiting. Now, when I went to Sevilla and I was really disappointed, I'm not going to say that's a place worth visiting. It was such a ho-hum. I dread getting to that video, to start editing that video, because I almost want to just throw it out. But I won't, because it's not always about, what I like. But, yeah, I'm not a big fan. So yeah, I think you definitely should visit. I think Ibagué, you gotta do the uplift. Ibagué is better than a lot of places I've been in Colombia, and I've said this before. It's not that I just adore. I'm in love with Colombia in general. I'm in love with this particular area that I'm in, and the coffee region at large, and some places in Colombia. There's a lot of places I really don't care for. Can anyone say Cali? But every place, even Pereira, that I'm not a fan of, it's got there's parts of Pereira that are pretty spectacular. I mean, I have to say. Like I said, well, part of my reason is I got some history, with that. So, you got anything else? I see it's mostly just regulars here, the hardcore. And I know that it's Thanksgiving, and a lot of you have things to do, and I don't want to waste your time. Mostly I just wanted to say hello, and I want to thank you for being there all the time. Pretty much everybody. I appreciate it. Even today on our day off, George is contributing to the channel, and I really do appreciate it. Sorry I wasted it on Sevilla, but the coffee farm video is going to be good. Does Manizales have more cloudy and rainy days compared to Armenia? It's probably pretty close, but it feels like, yeah, it rains all the time. And I wouldn't be surprised if it has a little more. But it feels like it because it rains whenever, where Armenia is more almost like on a schedule. You wake up in the morning in Manizales, it could be a pouring rain, and you don't know if it's going to last all day. That almost never happens. I think in the last 3 years that happened, I think once, maybe twice, but I'm thinking once. Last year, there was a rain that went on for about a day and a half, and I was in shock. I mean, that never happens. But in Manizales, that's not unusual. And the other thing is, in Manizales, you can have a bright, sunshiny day, and in 2 seconds, you got thunder and lightning and a downpour that it's raining so hard it hurts. I got caught in one of those, and for some reason, I usually take my umbrella, and for some reason, I didn't that day, and yeah, I had to wait forever. One more question. Okay, go for it. Will you film any Christmas activities in the city? Yeah, I probably will. I've done Parque de la Vida puts on this light show, and I've done it for a couple years in the past, and it's pretty awesome. But I think maybe this year I'll go to La Catorce, that walking area, and kind of look around. I don't think I've ever gone through there on like Christmas Eve or Christmas Eve would be the time. I don't think I've ever walked through there then. I tend to avoid crowds, but Emil, contribution. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it. I'll stop saying bad things about you now. Okay. How are you in your new house? I don't like it. I was holding off on deciding till I was here for a while, but how long's it been? 4 months, 5 months? I don't know. I think when my lease is up, right now, I don't think I'm going to change. It had more to do with keeping my fiber optic 300 speed than most anything else. I was looking around other neighborhoods, but the fiber optic at that speed isn't in most places. There's only a handful of places. And you compare that, you put that template over top of the places that I want to live, and I think there were like two, and one had no openings. This was here, it's right next door to where I was living. The fiber optic, a lot of things it was simple that way, and that had more to do with it. I do like the studio here. It's nice. It's pretty awesome. But there's a lot of things about this house. It's just as I've said, the people that were in this before just never took care of it. Everything is run down, and I just don't like. Every time I turn around, I got to fix something or ignore it. Why are the Bills sucking so bad, especially on defense? It beats the hell out of me. Today will be kind of interesting. I guess it's in our DNA. We're so used to saying, well, there's always next year. but the scary thing, if you're a Bills fan, is that you kind of know that a lot of it has to do with some key injuries or COVID. COVID's taken out a couple of their star players. I mean, impact major players. And then there's some injuries on top of that. And it's especially hurt the offensive line. The offensive line is really kind of sucking it up. And that's, it's evident on the field. As far as the defense goes, the defense has been pretty good. Through those games that were losses, the defense has done pretty well. On the other hand, this last game wasn't so much that they were bad, but we all know that when the defense is out on the field a lot, they start kind of wearing down, and he had some of that going on. But I don't know, everything that could go wrong went wrong, and we know the kind of talent they have. You also have the factor where teams are starting to get used to you. Plus, when you come up on the schedule, you become like a big target, because when you're one of the best teams in football, it's a feather in your hat to beat that team. You beat the Jets and, ho hum, big deal. It's only the Jets. So, people are gunning for them. People are getting more familiar with the way they play. They got a bunch of injuries. But this is all stuff that happens to every decent team. And so it's a matter of, they got to get off their ass and do something about it. That's really what it boils down to. I mean, I've been a fan since the late 70s and through thick and thin. And, I'll still be a fan, but I stopped being a fanatic fan years ago. Emil clapping hands. Bills are located too far north. They need to come further south. You mean like Colombia? No, I can't. It wouldn't be the Bills if they left that area. The reason the Bills are so lovable is they don't fall victim to all the trash that every other NFL team has to deal with. they're, they take on the persona of that area of upstate New York. It's, blue collar. It's legit. There's no posers. I mean, it's closer to the earth. I don't know quite how to describe it. It's like they go there and they become deer hunters, or it's a different thing. And they don't draft players regardless of their history just because they got some skills. They actually avoid people like that. So I don't know. There's a lot to like about them, to appreciate, but yeah, it's tough. Okay. Why are we talking about the Bills? Especially now. Why weren't we talking about them a few weeks ago? Okay. Anything else? I mean, if you have any questions, I'm here for you, but if not, then we'll get on with our life. Now I want turkey. I wish I'd thought about this and put something into it. I mean, how hard would it have been to get a turkey? But, oh well. But if I got a turkey, then I'd have to invite people. And I really don't like to have things like that. It's really not, after half an hour or so, I want to throw them out. And not their fault. It's my issue. Not against the run. Well, he's the best running back in all of football, and they just kind of got beat down. Everybody's been looking like that against that running back. So chicken is better than turkey. I'm chickened out. I mean, I had chicken yesterday. I've had chicken. I swear I've had chicken almost every day for weeks. I'm kind of sick of chicken. At least today. I gotta have a break from it today. Maybe I'll have a burger today. Yeah, I haven't had a burger in a while. Maybe I'll have a burger. It's like I can't have a turkey. Well, I could call Subway and get a turkey sub. I don't think that's quite the same. Somehow that turkey has no flavor. Are the hot wings places good there? Yes and no. Some are fantastic. There's others that's like, I guess it's like everywhere. Wings is a thing here. People love their chicken wings. And it's funny because when you get chicken wings here, they give you these see-through plastic, like saran wrap almost, gloves. So people here, they won't eat chicken wings without these gloves. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, you got to get the sauce on your hands and lick off your fingers, and oh, you heathen. Oh, they got to wear these plastic gloves. Go to Boludo and have a steak. I'm not in a steak mood. And I don't know what it is. Lately, as in this past year, if I have a steak, for some reason, I get an upset stomach, like later that night or wake up the next morning. Not like bad, but I can tell I've eaten a steak. I never had that before. I'm probably just getting old and I can't digest it properly or something. I went to Boludo, had the skirt steak, delicious. Yeah, their best is the Argentine. It's right on the menu, Argentina Bife. It comes in 2 pieces, and you have it cooked however you want, and that's it. There's something about that one. It's just really flavorful. I've tried a couple others. Other people will order, and I've tried a couple others, and it just doesn't. No, that's the best one they have. And it's I think it's the equivalent of like a New York strip. About Dar Papaya. Dar Papaya is good. It's not great. It's good. The view's nice. It has certain things that are good there. It has a wide selection of things, so that's always good. I like to take people there because, like, if you go to Boludo, you have your choice of steak, or steak, But you go to Dar Papaya, and there's, a couple different fish dishes, and there's rice dishes, and there's shrimp and steak and ribs, and it's like a big, and chicken. There's a big selection of things, and I think that's the best part of Dar Papaya, and it's never bad. It's just if there's something in particular, like if I wanted a steak, I would go to Boludo, or if I fell into a bucket of money, I would go to La Fogata, because that would hold up against any place anywhere. New York Angus ribeye cooked on over charcoal at La Fogata with a glass of wine doesn't get much better than that. If I wanted to learn Spanish, are there good places in the city that you would recommend? Well, sure, but what people tend to do here, maybe that's partly because I recommend it. I know a couple people that are actual teachers, and they'll give you one-on-one lessons, and it's really cheap, and you can make the schedule flexible because of that, and it can be more conversational. So that's what I always recommend to people. So aside from just being here and being exposed to it, you can subsidize that learning with one-on-one, which is kind of good, because you can say, the other day I ran into such and such and they're saying this and I didn't understand, and you got somebody there as like a go-to person, and you have lessons with them, and then you can be somewhere and have an issue and kind of send them a what's up, and maybe help you sort it out. Dar Papaya, the phrase means use common sense. Well, yeah, kind of. It's give papaya. Well, the famous one is no dar papaya, don't give papaya. But yeah, I guess that's a way to. I guess that's a way to put it. Okay, George, Emil, thank you again. Bless you, sirs. And I guess we're gonna cut it off here. So I will see you Sunday. Just throw up that picture. You ever go to City Pub? I've been there, but I don't. I think I went for. Whoops. I think I went for. It might have been wings or something like that. It's not the kind of place I would go. It's more of a place like, you're a party guy. I'm not. There's a lot of places to go, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, you can go there and just have a meal and like that. But so yes, but yeah. To me, it's nothing special. All right. Wasn't I ending this? Let's end it. All right. See you guys Sunday.